and welcome to this virtual adaptation of the 2020 Irvine Candidates Forum. My name is Kevin Corrigan, and it is my great honor and privilege to have been a part of the planning, hosting, and moderating of this event. Joining me today is Laura Bratton, one of the 14 candidates for Irvine City Council. At this time, I will turn to Laura Bratton for her opening statement.
Hello, City of Irvine. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I truly appreciate it. I just want to say I am a 18-year resident of Irvine. I raised my daughter here. I came here on the low-income program and went back to school. I have my bachelor's as well as my master's degree. And now I'm here running for city council because we need better change, because the people of Irvine are smart enough to know it's time for change. Also, my favorite place in Irvine are the parks. I love the parks here. There are so many parks and they're so beautiful. And the parks are here for the teenagers to hang out and have a good time, as well as taking our family and our friends and having birthday parties for our kids. So I've spent a tremendous time at the parks, having birthday parties for my daughter, as well as myself, or just having a barbecue, enjoying the beautiful, beautiful Irvine parks and the greenery. Now, why I chose Irvine? I chose Irvine because of the beautiful parks, because of the greenery, because of the air was nice and fresh when me and my daughter first moved here, as well as the school district. And I wanted to be in an area that was safe, where my daughter can walk down the street with no hesitation and no one asking her for any money. And I wanted to be in an area where there was no trash. And I have accomplished that. But through the years, I've noticed there's a lot of changes in Irvine. And I believe that better change is in the air. We need to start considering the people of Irvine before we approve bills. I think that is a major issue. I think homelessness is a major issue. I think police accountability, we need to discuss those things, and not just in a town hall, but change. We can all talk, and that's the problem. Everybody's been talking, but there has not been any action up until now. We need real action in this area. The things that are plaguing the world right now, the things that are affecting the world right now are happening right here in our backyard. And we have to change it to make it better for our children and for our grandchildren. Thank you.
What measures would you support to reduce the effects of climate change on public health? How can the city reduce its dependence on fossil fuels and reduce its carbon footprint? Should reports from the council's Environmental Advisory Council be a regular item on the City of Irvine City Council agenda?
You know, I just answered this question, and I'm going to answer it the same way, because I've been in this community for over 18 years, and I saw the change. It's overbuilding. It's simple. We are overbuilding apartment complexes. We are overbuilding office space, and we are overbuilding in every area, and we need to slow down. Do we want to be a community where we have 1 million+ people? We want to be in a community where the grass is still green, where the air is still, we're protected. Irvine, when I was here, it was a privilege to live in Irvine. I loved living here. When I would leave Tustin or Santa Ana or come back from LA, the air was just beautiful. The smog lifted away. And those days are gone. And it's because of all this construction, all these shopping centers. There's more trucks that are coming in here. And we have so much pollution because of these things. You know, we have trees and we have all these parks to help with the smog. And it's not working anymore. There are not enough trees to sustain the smog that's coming in due to the overbuilding. You know, if we're going to put our footprint, then we need to stop having so many gas stations here. That's how we can help. Yes, I can say, change your car. I can say we need to recycle. Those are all global problems that we have to do collectively. But for the residents here, all we have to do is slow down on all this building. That will help the air tremendously. I see a plethora of apartment buildings, of office space, of all these shopping centers. I moved in this community because I didn't want all those things in my area. Yes, a few shopping centers, there's nothing wrong with that. Office space, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with apartments. But now that it's overcrowded and we see that this is a major problem, we need to slow down and figure out which direction we want to move in this city, not in other cities, but in this city. Because in this city, unlike Santa Ana, unlike Tustin, unlike, the county of Los Angeles, just whatever, this city, our issue is overbuilding and we need to slow it down. And once we slow it down, we can figure out how we can get the clean air back, how we can start building more parks, I want to be able to drive and see empty space. I don't see empty space in Irvine anymore. That's a major issue. So that's where I stand, and thank you for answering that question.
Turning to our next question. How does public safety rank on your list of priorities? Do you envision a larger police or fire department? What does your support look like right now? And upon being elected, how would you look to assist the Irvine Police Department in its mission of working in partnership with the community, preserving the peace, and upholding the law with fairness?
That is an awesome question. And that is one of the reasons why I'm running for city council. That question and the clean air, amongst others. Regarding the police, we need police accountability. City council, the mayor, as well as the residents and the police department, we need to all work together collectively. We need a police department that is not bringing unwanted stress into a situation where it's already not a peaceful situation. Oftentimes, police can come to a situation and bring added on tension. That needs to stop. And I am an advocate for police. We need the police. If something happened to my home today or myself, I am going to call Irvine PD. But that is not the question. The question is, how can we all work together? First, we need to be bipartisan and talk and have conversations about what's going on. Not what we want to happen, but what's going on right now so we can clear the slate over the past 40 years, how it has been. We need to talk about it first and get it out of our system and then move past it. So those talks need to happen so Irvine PD knows clearly what we need to change, what they need to change, where city council knows clearly these areas need to change. And then we can go ahead and move forward from there. So yes, we need to have talks with the police. We need to let the police know in an open forum so the residents can be there and ask questions as well, because the constituents are the ones going through whatever they're going through with the police, as well as all of us. So we all have questions. We all have to work together, hand in hand. The police department, the residents of Irvine, as well as city council and the mayor. We all need to be on the same page. Now, as far as public safety, I think it falls back on the police and city council, because we need to make sure that we are working together. As long as we know that we're working together and we know what the city of Irvine wants out of their police department, which is serve and protect, not be judge and jury. That's what we want. We need to be able to, if we have a complaint against City Hall, against the police department, to have a bipartisan ethic committee that has nothing to do with either parties that will look into these investigations, instead of going to the police department or going to city council where everybody is friends and nothing is getting done. Things have to get done, and people have to understand we need an ethics committee because not everybody is ethical. Psychologists, we have an ethics code. If you're a lawyer, you have to abide by the Bar Association. It's a reason why those associations are implemented, because they understand not everybody is ethical. And sometimes you need to have an organization that says, hey, if you guys mess up or you do something unethical, people are able to come to us and complain and know that their complaints are being taken seriously. So thank you, and that is an awesome, awesome question.
Turning to our next question. As you may know, The city of Irvine anticipates a $20 million deficit. If elected, what 3 steps would you take to put our city on a firmer financial footing and help eliminate longer-term city fiscal impacts of COVID-19?
Very good question. First, I just want to say, very, very rich community. We have a lot of people in Irvine that we support our community. So what I think should be done, first of all, we should make sure that testing is allocated to people that want to be tested, and we get the word out there where they can test. Also, we need to help mom and pop landlords as well as residents. And because of COVID-19, unfortunately, a lot of businesses, a lot of places are going out of business. And those places, they need some help, which is fine. And as long as we can sustain that and help the people of Irvine, once this COVID-19 and we find the vaccinations and things get to quote unquote normal, people can start putting money back into the community. And that's what we need to do, is figure out a way to put money back into the community. And putting money back into the community, which our federal government already did with the stimulus packet and with unemployment, which helps a tremendous amount of people today. And like I'll say it once again, Irvine is a very, very rich community. So I just don't think that we're going to be in a situation where we fall short of finances. Irvine is very strong. We've always figured out a way to overcome. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here right now. I have learned a tremendous amount about loyalty, about the people here, and how we stand by each other. And we need to counsel to know that they're going to make the right decision. And I'm a firm believer that we need to help those in need, which are the renters, which are, the mom and pop landlords, which are these mom and pop shops that we have, help them out. And once we do that and they're able to sustain, people can start pushing money back into the community, because that's very, very important. Money has to go back into the community for us not to have that $20 million deficit. And we need to make sure that we're allocating funds the right way. And no one's talking about that. It makes no sense for us to even talk about a $20 million deficit when 10, 11 years ago, a massive transit bill was approved for $280 million. Some of that money can be allocated somewhere else so we don't have a deficit. So at the end of the day, Irvine is a very rich, strong community, and we can find ways to funnel funds to where we won't see a deficit. There's a lot of money right now that's allocated to different things, and we don't need it. We just don't. We don't need it. Irvine doesn't need a massive transit system because we're not in an area where we have to be on the bus. Some people, yes, they do. They ride the bus, but this is not a New York type situation or Chicago where we need a massive transit system, not here. So we can allocate certain money to make sure we're not going to be in a deficit. City of Irvine, don't be fooled by these questions. Don't be fooled. We have enough money to where we'll be just fine, as we always have been. Thank you.
Turning to our next question. How do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in the city of Irvine? What is more important, acting in response to the will of the people, or acting in the way city officials believe is the best course of action?
Very, very good question. All your questions are awesome. We need to vote what's best for the people. We have to keep Irvine residents involved in the voting process. And by doing that, constituents should start going to meetings. We should be in the office at least once a week, the open door policy. So if anyone has any questions, any concerns, they're able to address them. Certain issues, there's social media, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have all these things. We can go on social media platforms to get a consensus to where what the Irvine people want and why they want what they want. And if whatever the ruling is in city council and we believe is right, we can say, hey, this is up, this is the agenda, and this is why we're voting this way. Because in the future, we don't want to make this an issue. Right now, it might not be an issue, but later on, it may be. So certain things need to get passed where we're looking towards the future, as well as what's going on right now. I believe it's very important for the residents of Irvine to be in complete involvement with the decision-making process, because the decisions are going to affect us. They're going to affect all of us. So if something is affecting me as a woman, then I need to be involved in that decision-making process. And it's the same concept. The city of Irvine, we as city council members and as the mayor have to be very transparent. We have to make sure that the people in Irvine, that we keep their best, keep them on the forefront before we make any decisions. And the people of Irvine start coming out to the monthly meetings. Lift every voice and sing. That's a beautiful, beautiful song. And basically, I say that because go to the meetings. Your voice needs to be heard. Lift it up. And if you lift it up and you vote in Laura Bratton, your voice will be heard. And not only will your voice be heard, your voice matters, and your voice will always be taken in consideration in the decision-making process as a city council member in this great city of Irvine. Thank you.
Turning to our next question, in regards to the Veterans Cemetery, which has been a seemingly endless discussion in the city of Irvine, do you support building a veterans cemetery in Irvine, California? And what steps, if any, would you take to make sure that this process continues to move forward in a direction that will result in honoring Orange County veterans and providing them with a final resting place for their bravery and service to the United States of America?
First, I want to say thank you to all the veterans. Thank you to all the active members in the military. Thank you. I humbly appreciate your services as a resident of the United States. Thank you so much. Yes, I am for the Veterans Cemetery. My grandfather was a veteran. My husband, he was in the military. So I am for the Veterans Cemetery, and the steps that I can make as a city council member is voting yes and not against it. That's what I can do for the city of Irvine. I can vote yes. I can vote for the way that the majority wants me to vote. I can vote for what I feel is correct and the best thing for the Irvine residents. And if the Irvine residents do not feel as though my vote is what they want, I need to be able to explain to them, this is why I am voting this way. I am looking out for your best interest. And we need to have talks with the people of Irvine, because not everybody is right. I'm not right all the time. And when you talk to people and you get their point of view, somebody might change my decision because I didn't look at it from that perspective. And I think that that's very important. We as city council members have to be humble and not arrogant and think that we're right about everything. And this is why the city of Irvine, the residents, we need to be in open communication, because sometimes we don't look at something from another person's point of view. And when we do that, we can sit down and brainstorm and say, hey, you know what? I know I said this, but if this is best for the city of Irvine and I understand where they're coming from, maybe my vote needs to change because I'm not looking at it from different lenses. And I believe that that's very important. And the Veterans Cemetery, I am for the Veterans Cemetery. And once I get into office, I assure the people of Irvine, I will vote yes for the cemetery. Now, to my knowledge, the cemetery is already under works right now. So the question, I don't know when you guys received it. But like I said, to my knowledge, they're already working on that before we even get into office. So we'll see what's going on in November 3rd once I step into City Hall.
Now we will move to conclude this episode of the Forum video series. We turn to Laura Bratton for her concluding thoughts.
To the resident of Irvine, I just want to say thank you for your support. Thank you for listening to me, and the veterans everywhere. Thank you so much. I humbly come to everyone and say, your vote matters. Your voice matters. What you stand for and what you believe, there will always be an open door policy for us to discuss anything on my watch. I believe transparency is what we need right now, and we need to be transparent with everybody, the residents, the police, City Hall, the mayor. Everybody needs to be accountable for what's going on right now. And I am a true believer that having a bipartisan city council that is ethical and it's the right team is what we need, as well as an ethical committee on the side. It's very important, very, very important. Like I said once before, it is a reason why lawyers have the Bar Association. It's a reason why if you're a psychologist, marriage family therapist, AAMFT, it's a reason why there's a code of ethics, because not everybody is ethical. And we need that to make sure that everybody is voting the right way. And the right way is what the residents of Irvine need and want. And having open communication is what we need. So I am for the park. I enjoy the great park, I'm sorry. I am for the veteran cemetery. I am for police accountability, police. I am for the city of Irvine get back to having clean air. I am for responsible reduction of homelessness. Mental health is a major issue in this country. Mental health is a major issue in the area that we're in right now. And we have to do something about it. If we don't do anything about it, it's gonna get worse. These people need help, and we need to figure out a way collectively to help them and get them off the street to where they can get the proper help, the proper medication, whatever the situation may be. It is in our back door, and we cannot sweep it under the rug anymore. Thank you for having me here. Thank you everyone for listening.
If you'd like to learn more about Laura, please read the description below. And don't forget to vote on November 3rd, 2020.
Vote, vote, vote. A vote for Laura is a vote for better change. Thank you so much. I love the residents of Irvine and this beautiful community.